Whoa. Okay. Well, let me try that one more time. It's time for a new. Let me try one thing. It's time for a new possible show or possibly just a one-time thing where I reviewed by request of my great, awesome, amazing, lovely friend Sora to do the WWE ECW episode with the Gulf of Mexico match, a very infamous match. So let us begin. A fun fact before we begin. This match, the Gulf of Mexico match, I actually used to have it on my MySpace page. Yeah, I'm old. There you go. So this is February 5th, 2008. We're about a year and a half into the ECW experiment at this point. Chavo Guerrero is our reigning ECW World Champion, if you're wondering. So let's go. We open with the Don't Question My Heart theme by Shinedown. The one guy was like, don't question my heart. It's a cool intro. Here's what it is. CM Punk comes out for a promo. He talks about last week with Chavo Guerrero throwing the Fiesta, and we see the footage of that again in a video package, and Punk dressed up as a Mariachi and hit him with a guitar, Jeff Jarrett style. Also, in the video package, they played Katie Lee Burchill's first theme. The do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I thought that was funny. So, Punk wants to invoke his rematch clause for a match tonight. He wants his title back. He wants his baby back. Out comes our ECW champ, Chavo Guerrero. Chavo says he's a crazy mariachi, which Punk responds with, hey, that's kind of funny. People always ask me what the CM stands for. Crazy Mariachi Punk. Never knew. So, also, Chavo said he's not getting his rematch tonight, but he will get it at No Way Out, which is in 2 weeks from this. Which is also the first pay-per-view store I ever watched. In fact, just a little aside there. It says he wants to embarrass Punk tonight. We see Armando Alejandro Estrada, the ECW general manager, outside the arena in Corpus Christi by the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have a Gulf of Mexico match tonight. The first ever one where the object is to throw your opponent in the water, in the body of water known as the Gulf of Mexico. There's extreme rules, anything goes. That's the only way to win. And Chavo says he's a warrior, and in No Way Out, he's going to leave him drowning in his tears. But tonight, CM Punk's just going to be drowning. Pretty good line with Chavo. These are in promo. Nothing special, but just set up the match nicely. By the way, I love how this is the first ever Gulf of Mexico match, but it's the only one they ever did, so it's also the last ever and the only one, so it's the first, last, and only. And I'm like, bring it back. Like, it's not a bad match type. You were just in Corpus Christi, I'm pretty sure, WWE. You can do it again. Or, another company. Maybe AEW. Perhaps CM Punk, who is now undefeated, spoiler alert, I guess, undefeated in the Gulf of Mexico match. He himself can actually have a match, maybe with a different name, in AEW and win that one, and he will be forever undefeated in these Gulf of Mexico matches. And wrestling has this weird, long tradition with throwing other wrestlers in the water, as well as objects in the water, but wrestlers being put in the water or fighting in the water, bodies of water. I mean, there's the one with The Rock and Austin, we know that one. There was Hardcore Holly and Al Snow fighting in the water for the hardcore title. There was Matt Hardy being drowned and raising up as V1 at one point. Because there's a lot of tradition there. You could easily, it's like one of the oldest tropes. Oh yeah, Cena throwing heads too. Forgot about that one. Anyway, we have not a 6-team tag. I thought it was a 6-team tag. It's a tag team match. With entering the ring first is Lena Yada. Remember her? Probably not. She didn't do a whole lot. Layla, who, oh my god, looks perhaps more devastatingly beautiful than any woman I've ever seen. Oh my god. I simp so much. Hey, Victoria, who also looks just incredible, just phenomenal. Like she is going to destroy everybody who gets in her way. Just amazing. And I mentioned I love Layla's interest, how she does kind of splits in the middle road. That's cool. And then we got our opponents tonight. Oh, before that, they show the promo Jeff Hardy No Way Out image. I know you love that one, Sora. And the funny part is they show it like how he's in the water thing. Like they actually put it close up. This thing is so crazy looking. It looks like either a Chris Angel magic trick or a Jigsaw game. Jigsaw trap. And now we got Kelly coming in the ring and start one of her opponents to tag match. And Michelle McCool Oh my, sorry Layla, but I think I gotta send her. I love Michelle McCool. She's a phenomenal looking woman, amazing. Also pretty damn good wrestler. We got Lay Cole here against each other. How about that? Of course, it's like a year and a half before that even happens, but you know. Anyway, she looks flawless. By the way, Michelle McCool does. So we go to the match. Kelly with a nice flip arm drag where she kind of flips off the ropes and kind of does like this thing. Hey, remember when they tried to make Kelly into the next Trish Stratus? Yeah, that wasn't gonna fucking work. Anyway, Michelle McCool does the Mr. Perfect neck stepper. There's probably another name for that, like running neck stab, but I like to think it was Mr. Perfect because he was the one I saw first do it. She does this weird move. It's hard to explain. It's like she jumps on the springboard on the turnbuckle. Like watch my hand. Like this is a turnbuckle, right? And Victoria's in the ring quarter, so she jumps and then she does like a hurricane. She bounces off that and does a hurricane. It looks really good. And then there's not a whole lot of stuff happening from Victoria and Layla. By the way, they're just kind of getting their ass kicked. So we get to the finish the match. Lena outside the ring. Lena Yada trips Kelly. Kelly grabs her foot. Michelle McCool goes outside and she gives a Lufus press to Layla. Victoria hits the Widow's Peak for the pin on Kelly. It's too short to be anything. Joey Styles and Taz are on here. Now they're talking about how last week Shelton Benjamin took a count-out loss against Kane. 2 questions. Oh, and also they said there's going to be a rematch of SmackDown. Sorry. But these are my 2 questions. Why do they, in a show for 1 hour, use time to promote the 2-hour show? Because the rematch is going to be on SmackDown. Like, it's just kind of weird. You couldn't have promoted this on Raw or something? I mean, what does it matter? Also, why did they make this match in the first place? That's my second question. Why make Shelton Benjamin Kane? At least give it a finish on your show. Otherwise, you just wasted everybody's time. Like, what even? I think I've seen Shelton Benjamin fight Kane on Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. That match happened a lot. And Shelton, I'm pretty sure he was U.S. No, he wasn't U.S. champion. That's right. Anyway, we get the pretty cool WrestleMania 24 promo. And believe this or not, if you can believe it, it has the snow, the hey-oh, this is what I say-oh. Which is cool, because I didn't expect Peacock to have that. I kind of thought it would be gone. Which, I love that song, but the singer can fucking sit on a porcupine. He's a piece of shit. It's a Red Hot Chili Pepper singer, every kid. I don't want to get into why, but fuck him. You can go Google it yourself. This is all you need to know is in his fucking book. So it's not even hearsay. It's what he said himself. He's pretty disgusting. But yeah, Snow's an awesome song. And probably easily my favorite Red Hot Chili Pepper song. Probably one of only like 5 songs like that at most. I'm being generous. Probably free mostly, but like there's 2 others I might kind of bump sometimes. Anyway, we got John Morrison and Miz coming out for a match. Why does this show from 13 years ago have all these wrestlers I'm still seeing today? Or mostly, not all. Because, you know, all the divas they're not in WWE anymore, or AEW, or Impact, or anywhere, as far as I know. But it's still like, even Taz is on commentary. What's going on around here? It's just kind of funny, right? I guess you're a wrestler, you usually don't retire. Or in Punk's case, you come back, you know. Man, that's cool. I love Punk. Oh my. Who the fuck is calling? Hold on 1 minute. My flawless editing makes it so you don't know I actually paused the video yet, right? I don't have editing. Who am I fucking kidding? Oh, so the opponent is Tommy Dreamer, who wrestles in Impact. I don't watch, but there you go. And he comes out with Colin Delaney. And if you've never seen Colin Delaney or have any idea who he is, he's basically James Ellsworth, except with more hair, with long brown hair, and less over and less wins. Like hold on, I'm pretty sure he got a action figure, so let's look up. He's basically like the ultimate guy always getting his ass beaten. I know at some point in the story, Tommy Dreamer befriended him. So I mean that's kind of cool. I don't know him. I kind of like the idea of Tommy looking over his. There's one of the Jax figures that actually is kind of accurate because this is pretty close to how Colin look. Can you see that? Can you? There's Colin Delaney with the ECW title, which he would never he shits with. He kind of looked like Paul London. Oddly enough. Anyway, it's Colin Delaney. So we have a singles match, but they have their managers, and the match begins. There's a pretty cool spot in the beginning where Morrison does it's a weird move. It's like a springboard drop kick, but Tommy Dreamer's hanging on the bottom rope, and he's like hanging like almost outside, and he drop kicks him so he falls. We get back in the ring, and Morrison hits the backbreaker neckbreaker combo, which I always liked. If you're a Morrison fan, it's a pretty good match for you, even though it's short, because he does a lot of cool stuff here. He also does this, I don't know what it's called, but the leg drop he does where he does almost like a spinneroonie. I think they call it dancing leg drop in the games, but I don't think he ever gave it a move. I don't think he does it anymore either. Which sucks, because that's a great fucking move. Anyway, Tommy starts making a comeback. He gets a flapjack. He gets a clothesline, and Jomo flipped. He flipped Jomo on his freaking head. That was nice. He flipped him over. He hit a scoop slam, scorpion death drop combo. You go like this, whoop, boom. And then we get to the finish. Colin Delaney's pulling the Miz because he's trying to interfere in the match. Miz throws Colin Delaney against the black guardrail thing. Tommy does a baseball drop kick, kicking Miz outside on the bottom rope, and then he eats a moonlight drive for the loss. And this one, it was decent enough. It was better than the first match. Anyway, we get a sit-down interview now, so something kind of different here, with Joey Styles and Stevie Richards, which I was pleasantly surprised to see this. I honestly didn't even know Stevie Richards was still in WWE by this point. I guess I kind of knew he was in the Battle Royal. I think, pretty sure he's on the Kickoff Battle Royal for the ECW title shot here, but I just forgot that he was. So, silly me. But anyway, he has been sidelined for several months with a serious injury. They show footage from 1997 when Terry Funk dropped a barricade on his neck. And they show the footage from ECW 97. He got a surgery at that point. He talks about how he had his throat cut open. They had to go in the back and fix his neck. And he had to have a vocal cord implant because it damaged his vocal cords. And then he gets asked by Joey how many surgeries has he had. He said he's had 9 surgeries. 4 of them in the last few months before this. Like 4 of them in October to December, I believe. That's a lot of surgeries. Holy fucking shit. And Joey Styles asked him, perhaps a $1 million question. After all he's been through, why does he want to keep competing? Why does he want to keep doing this? And Stevie says the simplest answer is that he loves competing. And next week he's going to return. He says he wants to show everybody he can compete at the level he always has. And that's where I'll show you'll see comes from, which is a nice little tidbit. I didn't know that. It's pretty fun, cool. I used to think that song was saying, I'll show you who's sane. Like he was trying to, because at that point in his gimmick, when he started using that theme, he was aligned with Victoria, so he was supposed to be, I thought, kind of like a crazy character too, because Victoria was supposed to be a crazy character. So I thought it was like, I'll show you who's sane. Like, in other words, it's kind of a weird catchphrase, but like if you tell him, oh, you're sane, or you're insane, I'll show you who's sane, like a reverse thing. I don't know. But I thought that's cool a little bit. I like this interview a lot, if you can tell. It's a shame WWE didn't do more with Stevie Richards and ECW. I mean, no hate on Kane, but his reign was kind of stupid and pointless. Why not just have Stevie Richards win the title and, like, do the same thing he enters the ring, just super kick Chavo and pin him, Stevie kick. Hey, you could even have Chavo win it back in the next pay-per-view. I don't care. Hell, they let Chavo hold it for a little longer and then Mark Henry kicks his ass. I don't know. I mean, the WWE just, I think Kane had probably won. Kane or Mark Henry had some of the most pointless ECW title reigns. And that title's short history. I could make a whole video on, like, every ECW title reign and rank them. Even though I didn't watch all the title matches, but I could rank them just kind of based on how they were perceived. But, yeah, I feel like Steve Richards could at least be ECW World Champion. It was, at least this point around this time. And he had a good story. He came back from injury. They did a story with Tommy Dreamer where he wanted to leave ECW if he didn't win the title. They could have done something similar with Stevie, where he wants, even though he loves doing this, it's breaking his heart. So he wants to get that one last run and see if he can be ECW champion, because he's never been ECW champion. And if he can't do it in like a certain amount of time, he's gonna retire or something like that. You could have done some good heel heat with Chavo, like him working the neck, like him putting the chair to the throat and him saying, "Oh, we don't know, Stevie's gonna be okay. Can you make stuff like that?" I think it would be cool, but fantasy booking, Booker man, whatever you want to call it. And but Stevie's always been good. He's quite good. I've always enjoyed him. Whenever he was in Here Comes the Pain games like that, I always thought he was fun to use. Hell, I hated the gimmick of Right to Censor, but that thing was very fucking over as a heel. He had so much heel heat with that shit. And that was also the only Stevie Richards toy I ever owned was him and Right to Censor. I think that was the only one Jax made at the time I was buying them, like when I was 12. They didn't make the ones like him when he's just kind of walking around in his blue jeans. Anyway, continuing the theme of seeing wrestlers that are still active to this day, Kofi Kingston versus a man by the name of James Curtis, who's such a jobber he doesn't even get a nameplate. Now I did some research. This was a guy that later would wrestle in WWE as KCJ. Or no, he had actually wrestled before this, right? Yeah, he teamed with the future Damien Sandow in a brief tag team feud against Paul London and Brian Kendrick. And he was a part, like Michelle McCool was their manager, and they were the teacher's pets. He was in the teacher gimmick. And he was pretty good for what I remember. But anyway. So it was really cool to hear SOS again. Because it's been a while since we heard that theme. Kofi doesn't use it anymore. He was just, it's a new day. Yes, it is. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Like, I wouldn't mind him using it every once in a while. He doesn't have to use it all the time. But anyway. So, anyway, short match here that it's just like your basic squash. But we got to see, he did the boom drop. He did the Karanko Buster. A move he doesn't really do anymore, and I understand, because it's like if you're not sure of that, it's like he jumps on the ropes like a springboard on the top rope, and he punches you a few times, and he flips back and does either a monkey flip or he does a European uppercut. And this one he did a European uppercut. And also he hit the Troll in Paradise at the end for the win. Now he kind of hit it out of nowhere too. He didn't do the whole that he likes doing. Kind of build up top. But anyway, good squash, before it was. We get some hype packages for No Way Out where they run down the match card. And it's pretty good. And get this, Sora, they still have the fake it theme. They still have the if you fake it, you don't belong here. Nice to see that both Seifer, well, maybe not Red Hot Chili Peppers, or at least not MV Cannons, but I see that Seifer's getting paid here. That's cool. Very, very cool. That's good they had the songs. I like that song too. See, I gotta wonder, like, what other pay-per-views actually have the themes, or what shows have the themes. Maybe they don't have it for pay-per-view, but from the shows. It'd be interesting. Anyway. Based. Fucking based. It's time for the main event. It's CM Punk versus Chavo Guerrero in a Gulf of Mexico match. To set the stage a little bit, about 2 weeks ago on ECW. ECW. We had Chavo Guerrero versus CM Punk for the ECW title. And it speared CM Punk. And Chavo was able to pin him and win the title. And then last week, CM Punk was the crazy mariachi hitting him with El Kabong, as in the Slapnuts, Jeff Jarrett style. And now, we got the Gulf of Mexico match. Hell fucking yes. CM Punk comes out dressed in his t-shirt, the one that has like the booze and like kind of the weird labels and stuff, and I think it's supposed to be pills, like, no, I think it's Looking for Losers. And some blue jeans, and he has a bandana on his knee. Which is probably a reference to his UTS, go to sleep, but also probably because Chavo's bandana, I don't know. Anyway, Chavo comes out wearing a No Way Out shirt and wearing some blue jeans of his own. So, we start the match. We start brawling a little bit. Chavo puts Punk into the steel step. And then they fight in the crowd. Punk slams Chavo on a steel panel. Looks really cool. They fight in the streets. Chavo throws Punk into a car. This feels very much like the fights you could do back in, like, Shut Your Mouth. Here Comes the Pain. You fight in the streets and throw people and shit, and you could probably get hit by cars. Now we just need somebody to come on a helicopter and do an elbow drop. Anyway, we go to commercial, oddly enough, because we're very late in the show. Punk's beating Chavo on a car now. Chavo starts fighting back. He throws a cooler at Punk. That looked pretty cool. You see what I did there? You see what I did? And then Punk starts fighting him back. He tries to duck him. Chavo tries to duck Punk in the Gulf of Mexico, but Punk fights him off. Punk gets Chavo. He hits the golden sleeve, and Chavo falls in the Gulf of Mexico, and it looked awesome. He jumped back like, whoa! This is fucking dope. Just amazing. Of all the people that get dunked in the water, I think he had it the best. I mean, the FU Edge was pretty good. But this one, I loved it. And anyway, this was a fun match. That's all I gotta say. It was fun. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely see this. It's a fun little brawl. I recommend it if you never watched it. Definitely. And now, my final thoughts about the whole entire episode as a whole. In my opinion, the main event was good. And it's definitely worth your time if you want to watch it. Seek it out. And even if you want to watch the opening promo with it built up the main event, that's fine. And the Steve Richards interview, which is, I believe, like just a minute long, it's really good. Of course, that might depend on how much you like Steve Richards. If you don't like Steve Richards, you might not give a shit about that. But, to me, the rest of the show is pretty skippable. You know, there's not a whole lot here. The Divas match, besides the fact it looked smoking, they did do some cool moves, but it's way too short. Like, they should have gave him at least 2 or 3 more minutes. And, you know, the squash match with Kofi, it's okay, but it's just a squash. It's not really like, unless you just miss seeing the boom drop or missing the Karanko Buster. And Dreamer and Morrison it was okay. Probably the second best match in the show, but it wasn't really anything worth anything. But anyway, though, that's my opinions on it. Just check out the Gulf of Mexico match, possibly Stevie Richards' interview if you're interested. But again, the Gulf of Mexico match was fun. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.